Welcome to the General Studies Writing Program Placement Test. The purpose of this test is to help the General Studies Writing Program discover your writing strengths and weaknesses based on the writing sample you provide. The test asks you to read a short article and write an original essay based on one of 3 writing prompts which are related to the article. Our trained staff will evaluate your essay in terms of audience awareness, organization, development of ideas, sentence structure, word choice, usage, and mechanics, which includes spelling, punctuation, and capitalization. You will then be placed in a GSW course depending on the type and intensity of instruction necessary for your success in college writing and beyond. GSW has gathered some materials to help you form an idea, which you will then argue in your placement essay. These include a placement article, a placement prompt, and lastly in this video, we'll show you a sample placement essay. The first piece is the article. Now this article is given to help spark ideas. Reading what others have to say on a particular topic will often spark ideas of your own. The prompts follow the article. They contain 2 parts, a question and then suggestions for things you might consider as you answer the question. Your answer to one of those questions will be the focus of the placement essay. For example, one of the prompts asks, should schools eliminate or keep long summer vacations? If you choose to answer this prompt, your entire placement essay will focus on your own personal answer to this question. The first several sentences of each prompt explain how the article seems to answer the question. This information is given so that you might be able to form your own answer. You should not simply mimic the prompt. Rather, you should present your own answer based on your own experiences and insights. For example, if you think that the answer for this question is that schools should eliminate long summer vacations, or schools should keep long summer vacations, then that is what you'll focus throughout your essay. The essay itself should not exceed 800 words in length. It may certainly be shorter than 800 words, but not longer. Be sure that your essay has a thesis or a main idea stated near the beginning of the essay. Develop your main idea fully using specific details, examples, and explanations. Use a tone that's appropriate for your paper. Your essay might be serious, playful, or informative depending upon your intentions. Be sure to conclude with a paragraph that conveys a sense of completion to your readers. For a further explanation of this standard linear argument structure, GSW recommends that you refer to the explanation before you write your essay. For this essay, your evidence may only come from your own knowledge and experiences and the placement article that you have been given. You may not refer to any other sources when writing this essay. You may not use any outside information in this argument. If you choose to use information from the placement article, you must cite it. When you use other people's words or ideas in your own writing, you must give them credit. Failure to do so is called plagiarism, which is a serious academic offense. Again, for this essay, your evidence may only come from your own knowledge and experiences and the placement article that you have been given. You may not refer to any other sources when writing this essay. You may not use any outside information in this argument. Additionally, no one may help you write this essay. No one, not even a parent, teacher, coach, or friend, may discuss the article or prompts with you or provide any assistance with the writing, editing, or proofreading of this test. Our goal is to place you into the composition course that is most appropriate to your writing skill and which will benefit you the most. Therefore, it is absolutely imperative that you do not receive help of any kind while writing this essay. At BGSU, it is vital to us that students are placed into the writing class which best suits their needs. In order for us to accurately assess your needs as a writer, you should not seek help from any other person, including a parent, teacher, friend, or coach. As you read the assigned article, select a writing prompt, or write, edit, or proofread this essay. We are interested in evaluating what you can do on your own. Seeking help on this essay erodes the integrity of the test and could falsely represent you and your placement in a general studies writing class. Such misplacement leads to an imbalance between the level of instruction that you might receive and your true capabilities as a writer. Your experience in first-year composition classes will be enhanced by being placed in the course that is equal to your ability. Likewise, being placed in a writing class that is beyond your current writing ability will most likely result in frustration and may require you to repeat the course more than once to achieve the required level of proficiency. The purpose of this test is to determine which composition course will best serve your specific needs. Therefore, you should write your placement essay to the best of your ability without any help from outside sources. There are several common elements in many aspects of Western writing. 3 of them will be discussed here. The first is that almost all academic writing contains an introductory paragraph. For your placement essay, be sure that your essay has a thesis or a main idea that's stated near the beginning of the essay. Additionally, your essay should have several body paragraphs which each focus on a single idea which helps support your thesis. Be sure to develop each main idea fully using specific details, examples, and explanations. Finally, your placement essay should contain a conclusion paragraph. Be sure to end the essay with a paragraph that conveys a sense of completion to your readers. It may be helpful to notice that your placement article is arranged in much the same way as the classic argumentative structure. For example, this particular placement article has an introduction. It's several paragraphs long, but it ends with a thesis. While it may be a little bit more complex, the basics of this particular thesis is that rearranging the school year to balance out the breaks may in fact be advantageous. Beyond that, we see several reasons that support this idea. I've highlighted these in orange. One possible reason why: U.S. research shows that taking 2 months off in the summer can reduce the academic performance of some children. The rest of that paragraph explains. The paragraph after that, it's also the case that some families appreciate the flexibility. Yet another idea that will be fully supported. The final idea for this particular side of the argument: the traditional school year has its roots in farming culture. The paragraph then goes on to explain how our culture has changed. You'll notice then in the green that I've highlighted the ideas that seem to counter this particular stance. There remain many good reasons for shutting schools down during the summer. The weather, for one, which is then explained. Additionally, the modern summer vacation has changed quite a bit from the unstructured days of lazy indulgence that we often associate with summer vacation. And so on. The argument continues in this way until we get down to the bottom, the conclusion, which wraps up this particular argument and reiterates the overall thesis. The ultimate goal should be a pleasant, rewarding, and lengthy summer break for all. Once you've read and understand the placement article, you should then move on to looking at the prompt. Now, the prompt is going to help you structure and understand a question that we're asking you to answer in your paper. For this particular prompt, the question is, should schools eliminate or keep long summer vacations? You'll notice that the first part of the prompt gives 2 sides of that argument. We then have a particular section where we try to direct you in ways that you might think about this particular topic, which could lead you to a thesis. Here's an example of a student placement essay. Notice how it has all the parts of a structured linear argument. American schools should keep this long summer break. A clear thesis. We know exactly what this writer is going to argue. We then have several paragraphs, 2 of which support that particular thesis. One that talks about how children are still learning. The other that talks about how they will pick up many important life skills during the summer. The next paragraph is often called the counterargument. This is where the writer acknowledges that the reader may not exactly agree with his particular stance. In this case, after the acknowledgement, it is then refuted. He explains exactly how this particular point does not detract from his overall argument. You'll notice also that this particular placement essay has a conclusion paragraph, which wraps up the idea and reiterates the author's thesis. As you proofread your placement essay, be sure to keep in mind all of the necessary elements of grammar and mechanics found in standard American English. Remember to use correct adjectives and adverbs, correct articles, numbers, and sentence punctuation patterns. A good resource for finding this information is the Purdue OWL Online Writing Lab. Recall that it is vital to us that students are placed into the writing class which best suits their needs. In order for us to accurately assess your needs as a writer, you should not seek help from any other person as you read the assigned article, select a writing prompt, or write, edit, or proofread this essay. We are interested in evaluating what you can do on your own. Therefore, you should write your placement essay to the best of your ability without any help from outside sources. We look forward to reviewing your writing and to helping you develop your writing skills.